Guys, it's Mr. Crayton, and I'm going to break down again how to draw the face from the profile position. So this is going to be a little bit different than what we do from the front, which is what we call a portrait position. So from this angle, basically what you're looking at is you're going to see a large curve and circle in the back, a slimmer curve in the front, and then a curve that's going to bring the two pieces together, which is the neck. So I'm just going to break down how we'll do that as a reminder so you're aware of how to set it up and how to place the features in, and then you'll be able to keep working. So let's get this rolling here. So I'm going to stop here. So first of all, draw a large circle. So that circle is going to represent the back of the head, so the large mass, so this cranium. So draw a large circle. And then as soon as you draw that large circle, I'm going to have you use a guideline, place a guideline in the middle. And the reason why we place that guideline is that helps you keep all your features clearly on this front side. It also eventually gives you a position to give you a place for the ear, so the ear will fit back here on this side of the line. So a lot of times students will draw the ear on the front side, which is too close to the features. So this guideline is going to give you that position. After you draw the guideline, draw a little baby dot here in the middle. And one reason why we draw that little baby dot is if you were to take this dot and measure down to the bottom of the circle. So take that dot and measure down to the bottom of the circle. If you take that measurement and you put it below that circle, so if I take this, so let's say this is 3 inches. If I measure 3 inches down here, that gives me the height of the head. So again, make the dot, measure down. You can just use your fingers. You don't have to use a ruler. Take this measurement, place it below the circle. And if you make a guideline, that's how tall the skull will be. And then what you'll do on the front end, you're just going to draw a curve on the front end that curves back to that guideline. Don't draw a straight line. The reason why you don't draw a straight line is because your face is round, so there are no straight parts. So let's see that section here. Boom. Okay, so let's stop it. So draw this curved piece. And again, you can always rewind. That's perfectly fine. We draw this curved piece here. It curves down. That represents a guideline for the chin. This curves back to represent your jawline. And then all we do is we create a bridge for the two pieces and connect them. Connect the top of your head to your neck, so draw a curved line. Connect your jawline and chin to your neck, so draw a curved line on the flip side. And just so you're aware, look at how big this is. Your neck is large enough to hold the big weight of your head. So this curve should be fairly large. This curve should be fairly large, so it's close to your chin. This is close to the back of your head. So be aware that when you draw these 3 major sections, remember every time we draw the outside, and then we work our way to the inside. So we drew the 3 big outside pieces, and then now we're going to work our way to the features. Just a reminder, your eye is halfway on your skull. So we will draw a guideline somewhere around here that's roughly about halfway. And so you'll see that here. Boom. So if you were to measure, you can just use your fingers, or just use your eyes and approximate. If you were to measure in between this skull you've drawn, so in between the top of your head and the chin is our eye guideline. So we always set up our guide, so eye fits halfway between the top of the head and the chin. Boom. So then I'll slow this down now. So directly in between the eyes, so directly in between your eyes and your chin is your nose. So halfway between the eyes and the chin is a nose guideline. Halfway between the nose and the chin is a mouth guideline. So each feature fits exactly halfway. That's how God designed you. He designed you with symmetry. Symmetry meaning that things are balanced, they're symmetrical. So eye is halfway between the top of the head and the chin. Nose is halfway between the eyes and the chin, and your mouth is halfway between the nose and the chin. So everything fits exactly where it should fit, halfway, and that's the key. So once you have those guidelines, we'll drop the features in. Remember, when it's time to draw your eye's a lot smaller from this angle, so we'll draw almost like this cone-like shape. It looks like a slice of pizza, and it's going to fit right around this guideline. It won't fit right on the edge. It's going to fit a little bit further back. So just right around here. Boom. So if you can see that, all right, perfect, perfect. So if you look at this guideline I drew the shape I drew for the eye, again, leave a little gap from the edge of your face because your eye's recessed. It means it's a little bit further back. It has not hit the edge. So also your eye's not super large from this angle too. So do keep this cone-like shape small. So once we have the outside shape of it really settled, we'll work our way to the inside parts. We'll also add the eyelids. So we always work our way from big to small, and then just the general shapes to detailed shapes. And then just a reminder, because every single part of your face is curved, this must curve. It can't be straight, no straight lines. This curves down, this curves up, this curves out. And that's how we're building that shape. So boom, there we go. So the eyelids curve, so draw this curved shape that's thicker on the left, slimmer on the right. For the inside of your eye, we're going to draw a like this little disc almost is kind of what it looks like. It's like this little oval that's on the inside, because again, we're seeing less of the shapes from the side, so things are pretty slim. And then we're going to draw an eyebrow shortly, but in order to help us kind of place the eyebrow in the correct place, we're going to draw a bridge. So kind of like the brow of your face. So we're going to push out this shape and bring it back in like so. Boom. So if you were to, let me slow this down. If you were to push this shape out, so that pushes out, and anytime you look at the side of someone's face, you'll see that, and that's going to give you that gap to actually place your eyebrow. And your eyebrow has a curvature to it, just like your eye. Push the brow out, place the eyebrow there, and then all we'll do is this curves out like so, and your nose is just going to curve down like so, and your nose fits in this gap. So it's actually going to end above this line a little bit. It's just going to fit in this gap like, and then come back down. So if we draw that, boom. So now you can see that. So we're going to bring out a large cone shape. So it angles down as you get towards that line, but again, there's typically a little gap, and it's just going to wrap around. And then what we'll do is we'll place a small curve for the nostril, and then we're going to wrap a wing around it. Boom, you can see a little bit of that. And then if it's a little bit easier for you, you can even set up the curve that's going to connect your nose to your mouth. So there's a little cleft there. So you can set that up so you have a place to draw your mouth, nostril. So draw that oval, fill it in, then we place the wing. Bam. Okay, so as soon as you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your mouth. So draw your cleft so your mouth curves out and then back in. So this curve here, you want to draw this a little bit deeper because that's going to represent the space that's in between your lips. And also just a reminder, if you need to, if you think you're going to make your lips go out too far, one thing you can do is you can draw a guideline that goes down. So draw a guideline that angles down, and that's going to make sure that your lips don't go out too far. So the top lip goes out further than the bottom lip. So I'll show that to you here. Okay, here we go. And then typically, just a reminder, your bottom lip, this might be a little bit too thick, but your bottom lip is typically thicker and larger than your top lip. So top lip goes out further, bottom lip is a little bit thicker in size. And you connect them. So draw a curved line slanting up to the middle section. Draw a curved line slanting down to the middle section. Remember, every single part of your face is curved. There are no straight sections, so we just want to represent that. And then here we go. So we're going to make an adjustment. So a lot of times, just so you're aware, those initial shapes you've drawn might not be the real shapes. So what I mean by that is the chin I drew is a little bit smaller because it was just a guide. So you can now go in, if you're working from your reference, you can now go in and make the chin bigger if need be. If the chin needs to be smaller or more angular, rounder, you can go in, and I'm just going to slant this up to the jawline, which is near the middle. Boom. Okay. So when it's time to draw the ears, every head has something called an A side. The A side just means eye to the top of the head. So it's the top section where your forehead is. Not a lot of action going on here. But typically everyone has a B side, and that's where everything is happening. So from your eyes to your nose, to your mouth, to your chin, this is the B side. So from your eye to top of the head is the A side. From your eye to your chin is the B side. So if you're not sure how far back to make your ear, if you were to take your B side, so eye to chin, you take the B side and you flip, so starting at the front of the face, if you flip this B side backwards, so imagine if you had like an arc and that arc was curving backwards. So if you flip this side, so A to B, and you flipped it back, if you flip it back, that's the section your ear will go in. So that'll let you know where to start your ear. And if you're not sure how tall to make the ear, use the front of the face as guides. So look to see if the top of your ear lines up with the top of your eye. Look to see if the bottom of your ear lines up with, the top of the wing, or it lines up with your nostril. That lets you know how tall it is. So take a look at this. See, boom. So I did that flip and I realized, okay, my ear starts here. I can draw a guideline back from the eye for the top of the ear. I can draw a guideline back from the nose for the bottom of the ear. And all you do is you draw a wide top curve, slimmer bottom curve. And then you place the cartilage inside, and you can use any guides that are in online in Schoology or as far as building the inside of the ear. So I won't really go into detail of that. Okay, here's the deal. What you do now is you make any adjustments. So if I kind of scroll back, the head and the neck you drew originally, again, might not be the perfect size. So if you look at this head, it looks a little bit different than what I just had. You can go in and you can adjust the neck. If you need to make it wider, if you need to make the head a little bit wider, or it flattens out a little bit in sections, you come in and you make your adjustments. You also come in and check your proportions, make sure things are in the right place before you get to the point where you want to start adding details and hair and value. So now I'm coming in and making adjustments, boom, getting rid of the guides. I'm going to set up my hairline. Your hairline fits roughly in between your eye and the top of your head, so almost a little bit halfway or a little bit less. So remember, when you draw this, it does curve. It's not completely straight because your head's not straight. So you got to curve, curve back, curve down, curve to the ear. And again, some people don't have visible hairlines like that, or their hairlines aren't as sharp. That's okay, but you still want to set up a guide either way. So a lot of times your hair might just curve down to your ear. All right, so now I'm going to pause it. What you noticed, so let me bring it back, is if I look at this, so a lot of times our hair, for most people, or not most people, but for some people, it'll go past the skull. So you can set up a guide so you can draw a shape for that, and then you just go around and adjust that shape. So we just kind of set up those guideline areas. And then once your shapes are in place, all we do is we come in and we set up value. So every face has lighter and darker portions, so we want to set up value. So you take a look at where your light source is coming from. So if my light source is coming from, let's say, the top left, then the right side, and especially bottom right, gets darker. So basically, these sections curve. No value can be straight. So you set up curved sections. So I know, okay, light's coming this way. This is darker back here. Light's still coming from the front. It's darker back by the cheek. So again, it curves. It curves with the section. I would set up one for the nose too as well. Each section, so forehead, cheek, nose, mouth, chin, each section has value in it. So we set up those sections and we fill it with value. Boom. Okay, so you can kind of see this here. I set up the sections and I'm gonna start shading in. So you can start shading it in, and then we typically blend the areas in between. So I'm gonna start filling these in. So you can tell I filled this in darker. I filled this in more like a medium. The front section I left a little bit lighter. And then all I would do eventually is I would kind of blend in these sections so they feel a little bit more natural, so they feel smoother, so it feels cleaner. And that's really what it comes down to. So that's how you're going to draw the face. That's how you're going to set up the value according to your light source. And that is profile drawing in a nutshell with Mr. Crayton.